going to do on this truck is we're going to get a set of rear disc brakes put on this truck. This kit comes from Little Shop Manufacturing. It is their 5-hole rotor kit. We did upgrade for the braided brake lines, but besides that, that is just the standard kit that they have. They are not parking brake calipers, so we will not have a parking brake on the back of this truck. The instructions are very well done. Everything is color, very easy to see what's going to go on. The first 8 steps are about removing the drums and cutting the backing plate. And since, well, we're done with that, we've already removed them. So as you can tell, we just have that removed from there. The reason why we cut the backing plate off was because we are not going to try to retain the original factory drums by any means. So it's just easier for us to cut those off instead of having to pull the axles to do that. So fairly easily. We can spin everything in here. Everything lines up. I got to take it all back apart just to make sure everything's torqued down right. Everything's greased up that needs to be greased up, like the pins. But otherwise, it went on extremely easily. I'd highly recommend it to everybody. This is going to be where my brake line is going to be lined up right here. It's hard to see right now, but I will be running all new brake line on the rear axle anyway, so that's just going to be there for now. But otherwise, I am quite happy with how this went together. Now it's just on to the other side. Alright, today we're going to be working on mainly the brake system on this truck. We've still got to put the front calipers on. We've still got to chase the line across the back of it. We're also going to put a master cylinder on and chase some lines across the engine cradle up on the front. So make sure everything's lined up, everything looks clean. We'll get it together today. Alright, as you can see, we have caliper on. We also have a braided line from inline tube. But as you can tell, we have more than enough flex out of the hose as it steers through the steering angle. So we're quite happy with that right now. Next we'll be making the feed lines for that. Alright, so we're basically just kind of mocking things up, but we're going to run the brake lines here. Obviously we're going to have our master cylinder up here with a proportioning valve that'll hang somewhere right around here. We're going to run the lines down between here. There should be no problems with running it right here. It's going to run under the frame rail. It'll pop up over here, come back underneath of this, then come across to our brake hose that we have here. We're going to have this little dividing block behind the cross member. Then the passenger side line will run across the cross member, up and over, and then back underneath on that side as well. So what we're going to do is just mock up where our lines are at and see where that's going to take us. As you can see, we have the giant zip tie We're going to run underneath it here, and we're going to run over to this line here. There was already a bracket mounted in here, so it gives me an idea where that should be at. Now obviously this doesn't reach out far enough to get to that point over there, but it's going to give me a really good idea of how to bend this side over here, and I'm going to just make sure it's long enough to cut out for that side so I can trim it in later. But I think this is going to work just like that. You can see my brake line gives me a good idea about that. Is it perfect? Accurate? Not exactly, but it'll do the job for now. See if this line goes in here right. See if it lines up. Would not have guessed that. So here's what happened. That side line up on the front, the braided line, uses a 3/16 line with a 7/16 nut. This side uses a 3/8 nut. Or sorry, a 3/16 nut, which is the smaller size. Should have checked it, but I didn't, so I can cut this off and put a new one on here. That'll probably be my best bet. Just cut this one off, reflare this end, and put the nut back on here. Quite strange, but I should have checked it. I didn't. That's on me. So here we go. All right, let's try this again. Hopefully this side works a little bit better than it did. with some clamps. There'll be a clamp that goes here, one on the other side, as well as ones here to hold it up to the cross member. I think all of this is going to look like it's going to work out pretty well. So, there's how you make a set of inexpensive copper lines to go across the front of it.